Thank you very much. I feel quite intimidated being not only supposed to be giving a reflection. I thought there would be time during the discussion to sort of prepare this, so it has been totally cut short. And what I've decided to do is to give you a little bit about myself and about my reactions to today, which is, of course, a kind of reflection as well. Just to say that I'm very old, of course, so I did research in London in the early 70s, which was an amazing time because it was the time of Carnaby Street and the Beatles and all sorts of things like that. But got married and had 2 children within a year, so that cut short my research, and I was teaching then, but I enjoyed teaching very, very much. I taught science and biology and some music and the usual sort of things that teachers get involved with. And after 17 years, I decided I had to get out of teaching because the pressure of the curriculum and the exams just got me down altogether. It's very, very difficult as a teacher if you are made to do the same thing year in, year out to keep yourself motivated. That's why I think today, with the talk about our wonderful teacher there and what she's doing from Kate, that was really an example to me of the kind of things that are possible if you have an education system that allows it. And I have no doubt that there are thousands of teachers who would just love to do alternative things if they could, if the time was there, if the opportunity was there. So having come out from teaching, I then got involved, I moved first of all to the northwest of Ireland, and I was doing some community development work and got very involved with the Peace and Reconciliation Programme and cross-border issues and that sort of work. But 5-6 years ago, a sudden thing happened in our neck of the woods, that we were told that our house was situated right in the middle of the fracking zone, and that there would be within 5 years 1,000 wells within a 30-mile radius. So ourselves and a couple of hundred other people got stuck in. This was not going to happen, and we did a huge amount of work. And I founded Good Energies, myself and a few others. We founded Good Energies Alliance Ireland, specifically to lobby, to get involved in advocacy and to raise awareness about this. I'm very happy to be able to say that we were successful, that Ireland now has a ban on fracking, and that we're very, very proud of that achievement. But now our attention is turning to climate change and what has to happen here. And during today, I felt it was just like a series of highs and lows right throughout the day. That initially it was that nobody's listening, that climate change is here, that it is so disastrous, that we're talking about Armageddon and all the rest of it, and that there isn't the general awareness that we have to have a subversive suspicion, and that and really that there is a very huge and almost end of the world situation ahead of us. But then also there was the idea that education must enchant. And immediately what I felt started to go up, because this is the reality. Education is the key. I am absolutely sure about that. And all the examples that were given, great work being done, wonderful work being done. But how do we communicate the urgency of it all? How do we win hearts and minds? I think this is really what is so important. And the last speaker said exactly, I really connected with the whole idea that media, that the way we live, we can't ignore the modern technology, but we can use it to win hearts and minds. One thing that hasn't come out of today that I would like to say in particular is that schools are not separate from the communities in which they live. And through the pupils, to connect with the parents, to get the communities involved, it would be a wonderful thing to see the schools acting more politically, really, not to be afraid to take on this challenge, because it's going to be one that's going to affect all of us. Listening to our young people was a delight, and I think for those people in particular, they really should get another round of applause, don't you think so? Fantastic. I work with young volunteers from all over Europe, and what I'm finding is the energy, the enthusiasm, and the determination to make a difference among the young people is fantastic. So with that, I would say I'm leaving here feeling very energized, feeling very hopeful, and looking to have great things done in our country in a very short period of time. Thank you.